How's it going, everybody? As our candidate conversations continue here, I'm excited to talk to Miguel Gutierrez, who's running in the Shelton City Council position number 7. Now, this is one of the races that will have a primary this primary season because there's 3 folks running for it: Trenton Powers, George Blush, and Miguel, who's here. So the top 2 vote getters in November will move on, and the winner of that race will be seated as number 7 for the Shelton City Council. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So for a lot of folks, this might be the first opportunity for them to kind of get to know you. Tell me about yourself.
I moved out here to Shelton 7 years ago. I wanted to retire. That was my goal, is find a small town and retire early. And I achieved it, American dream.
There you go.
So I'm here, and I'm trying to start my, little 3 wishes bed and breakfast. It's been a long time coming. It's been kind of hard the past 6 or 7 years for me. So I've been dealing with a lot of health issues, but I'm back now and I'm healthy and I want to do stuff for Shelton, and I'm like, this is such a beautiful place, and I don't know how to convey that and say, yeah, I want this place to be so good and be happy, and I want to share my joy.
Where did you come from?
Originally I was born in the Philippines.
Okay.
And I moved here when I was 2 years old, and I lived in California most of my life. Went through schooling and public schools and everything, and did good grades, worked hard, and made enough money in my 403B and my 401k for nonprofit work, and bought a little house out here and trying to live the dream.
Sure, for sure. So 6 or 7 years, you've seen a lot. There's been a lot that's happening in the city in that time. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit about your understanding about how the city works with the residents.
It seems like there's a lot of crossing over with county and city, and being a political science major, I was trying to, what is the intersection, and what does a city council member actually do? I mean, are we just customer service for all the residents? And and then we have a mayor now. With a mayor doesn't really just informs the city manager. So there's a lot of different things. I'm still learning. I know I learn really quickly. So I'm trying to find out exactly what is my role. I'm going to listen to I want to listen to everybody and find the best solutions and keep the Shelton way of life going.
What I can tell you is customer service for sure. As you're walking around the streets, somebody will bend your ear for sure.
That is true.
Things.
That is true.
What have you seen in the way the city works well or doesn't, perhaps, with the business community?
Well, I've seen a lot of businesses come and go. Just walking down the street every day, I walk my dog, in the morning and the evening, and there's a lot of turnover. And I was like, what's going on downtown that we are not keeping our small businesses here? Is it, all the big businesses uptown? Are there things that we can do better downtown? And I think there are. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but when we find out the numbers and crunch them, it's like, well, we could probably do more things.
So, I mean, as you look around, I'm sure you may have like a wish list of ways to make the city a more pleasant place to live. Mm-hmm. What would be some of those things as you walking down Railroad, you go, man, if we could do this.
Gosh, I always want people to bring out their happiness and joy instead of bringing their anger everywhere.
Okay.
Because we're carrying a lot of anger around. We've been shut indoors. We've been mad at everything. I've been guilty of like internet trolling people and just putting out zingers. Oh, that was funny, but it wasn't helpful.
Sure.
And I just feel like there's a lot of that going around, and I think that's got to stop. And we've got to think about, hey, what can we do to make Shelton a better place to live and be sustainable? And why do we carry around our anger so much? Let's carry around our joy.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. I'm walking the dog. Hey, let's talk.
One of 6 positions on that city council. So as you start to, if you're elected by the voters to go on there, how would you shape, or what would be some of the main priorities that you'd bring in?
My main priority would be infrastructure.
Okay.
Especially paving the streets. Getting all internet choices, cable choices. I can't even get fiber one, and I live 7 blocks down the road.
Sure.
It's like, how come I can't? Your offices are right here. I can't even choose to get you guys. Like there's a lot of things we can do. Like we need to have choices in this town, and like not just the ones that are given to us, but like we could find other creative ways. I mean, why not get the PUD involved and have high-speed internet everywhere? I mean, we should really work on things that people can use in everyday life that affects us, and we can have choices and drive down prices, have competition. So I don't want just only having Xfinity as a choice or CenturyLink. And I mean, a lot of people have had various experiences working with the customer service for both of those organizations. So, I mean, let's have another choice.
Sure, sure. One of the things I'm sure you see as you walk, the homeless population here over the last 6-7 years has really exploded, and there's a lot of need out there and desire to help. But where do you start? Do you have thoughts on this?
Oh man, that's a deep question.
It is.
It's not just in Shelton; it's everywhere, and it's worse in the bigger cities. And it's like all these big city problems are coming out here and finding us here in Shelton. So, man, the number one thing is we got to come at it with first like love and empathy, because we're 3 paychecks away from being homeless,
Sure.
right? So that's the number one priority. Is like we can't be angry. It looks like there are choices that people make, some worse than others, and it seems like I used to be a special ed teacher, so a lot of the kids that I used to deal with were kids that had one layer less than someone else, and then that's how they got into trouble. And then when you start getting to that spiral, it keep getting worse and worse, and then you burn your bridges and you can't go back home, and then you have to live on the streets, and it just gets worse and worse. But the number one thing is we got to come at it with less anger and more love. So, and that starts at the school. We need to have teachers get paid more. We need to have, because when you're homeless and you're out there, and there's a lot of things that fell through the safety net, and it's way more complex than just being, let's find something for them, someplace to put them. Well, them is really us. That's a bigger question than just, let's be mean to that guy, or it's way more. It's beyond what I can do personally, but the only thing I can do is look for solutions and try to ease the pain as we go out into the next realm. So, and a lot of us here are like I said, we're 2 or 3 paychecks away from being homeless ourselves.
Yeah, it's a tough situation for sure. If the voters choose you and seat you in position 7 4 years down the road, you can look back and go, man, we accomplished some of these things. What would be major accomplishments that you think 4 years from now put Shelton on a great path?
Wow, major accomplishment. I'd like to see downtown look like downtown Poulsbo.
Okay.
And have like street access and make Shelton a destination place on Sundays. I want to go to Shelton and have lunch or brunch at one of our beautiful cafes, or any of the fine restaurants we have downtown. And I've sampled all of them. They're all pretty good. It's like, why are we not like other towns that are booming, not just because of the pandemic, but
Sure.
Why isn't downtown Shelton a destination place? Because it should be. It's really beautiful out here. And are we keeping it a secret for ourselves?
Right.
Are we discovering, my taxes are going to get too high because my prices are going to go up because of all my assessments? Well, do you kind of want your house to be more valued? I don't know. I think, there's competing things here. Like, do we want to be a secret or do we want to be known?
Yeah.
So I think we want to be known, and I think it's okay to pay a few more taxes and have a better quality of life. I think that's okay.
And before Shelton, where were you at?
I lived in California.
Okay.
Yeah, and southern and northern.
Okay.
So, and I lived in San Francisco as well, and that prices got way too high up there. So, but save your money, save your pennies. Don't eat too many avocado toasts, and you'll be here.
That's it. This is Miguel Gutierrez. He is running for Shelton City Council position 7. So again, this is the only race for the Shelton City Council that has a primary process. There are 3 folks running: Trenton Powers, George Blush, and Miguel Gutierrez here. So the top 2 will move on to the November general election, where one of those will be seating in spot number 7. That's what it is. Miguel, good to meet you. Nice to talk with you.
Thank you, Jeff.